Hey everyone, welcome to some Magic the Gathering. So, I've been trying to make a Pyre Clerics deck work in Standard for a while, since before Strixhaven came out. And for a while before that, by then I didn't have a deck working at that time. So now, let me show you what I have right now. And we're going to be just playing this in Best of 1 Standard and possibly moving Best of 5 in a bit. So first off, with 1-drops, we have 4 Speaker of Heavens. Just flat out, this card's too good. It's a 1/1 with Vigilance and Lifelink, and then if you ever get to 27 life, it basically has build all the board presence that you could possibly need. Alongside the 4th Speaker of Heavens is 2 Archfiend's Vessels. Just another 1/1 lifelink, which is actually very important for this deck, just really cheap lifelinkers. And if I manage to reanimate it, it could become a 5/5 Flying Demon. I only have 2 because that's not the win condition of the deck. Like, we're not trying to get a very fast demon, it's just that's something we can do. And one of the ways we do that is with Malakir Rebirth. We have 3 copies of this. Really, so you'll see in a bit that there are only 20 lands. Malakir Rebirth has the ability to come into play tapped as a land. So we're going to have 8, so we have 8 tap lands through Malakir Rebirth and such, and 20 regular lands, which I think makes a pretty consistent 24 if we need it. But this basically reanimates a creature that we know is about to die, which, since this deck is based off of Pyre of Heroes, is very valuable, because this will allow us to sacrifice a creature and search our entire library search our library for a creature that costs 1 more than it. And basically every creature is a cleric, with a few exceptions, but they have their own synergies with Pyre Heroes. We have 2 dire tactics. While our only humans are Archfiend's Vessel and Speaker of Heavens, I find that exiling a creature is often very powerful, like it's more powerful than destroying a creature, so I like this over Heartless Sack and stuff. And while if we don't control human, we lose life equal to its toughness. A lot of times, if we're going to be ripped off the board, we're only going to lose 1 health as we kill their Toski Bearer of Secrets, or as we kill their target for their Emerald Cleave, or something like that. So it's usually not really that expensive of life loss, and even if it is, it's usually for a control deck, where in a control deck, we're getting to 27 health a lot of the time. So then from there, we have 4 Clerics of Life spawned, just a good aggressive creature if we need it, and whenever a cleric enters the battlefield, we gain 1 life, which just scales our life gain. So the Speaker of Heavens to Cleric of Life spawned is usually, sometimes you have an aggressive curve, and I take that out. I could make this deck more aggressive. I chose not to, I could add Luminarch Aspirants, I could make it more of a +1/+1 counter-based deck. I actively chose not to. I do not want this to be an aggressive deck. I want this to be mid-range. I do not want this to be aggressive. Behind that is 4 copies of Skyclave Cleric, against another tap land, but it's also a core cleric, which is valuable, and a 1/3 that gains us 2 life against aggro decks is actually very valuable. So this is just a good card. The fact that it could also be a land is just icing on the cake. And then from the new set, I actually added 3 Professors of Symbology. So this allows us to, first of all, play a 2/1, which, blocks and trades with Robber of the Rich, which is perfectly fine. But the other thing is it can learn. And so we have 4 learn cards in our sideboard. So so we have Environmental Sciences, which will get us a land to help with mana fixing, but actually, importantly, it gains us 2 life. Every bit of life gain is very valuable in this deck, since we're trying to get to a number 27, which is above our starting 20 life total. We have Reduced to Memory to help if they have just some big monstrous permanent we have to get rid of. We have at least a straight up exile. That's always good, even though they get the 3/2 white spirit. We can accept that. Pest Summoning, which is just if we're facing an aggro deck and they're swarming us, we could counter swarm with Pest Summoning, and we'll gain a bit of life in the process. So this actually has turned out to be perfectly fine when I tested it out. Which, by the way, I tested out. This is a deck that I've been trying to build for a while, and you could actually, if you look at my channel, you'll see some old decks of me trying it out. But some of the new this is one that worked okay. I haven't tried all the changes I've made. And as my 4th, this is my 4th lesson, being Mascot Exhibition. Just in case I have way too much mana, have a way to sink it all in and get myself some actual powerhouse. Not sure if this is going to work. I have not had a chance to play this yet, so this one I'm not so sure about, but the Environmental Sciences and the Pest Summoning both felt good when I had a chance to play them. So then 3-drops. We have 4 Righteous Valkyries. Righteous Valkyrie is a card that if we could have as many as possible, we have as many as possible. Because whenever Angel or Cleric enters the battlefield, I gain life equal to that creature's toughness, which is a ton of life. And it has that when we get 7 or more above our starting, it becomes a double Anthem effect, while still being a 2/4 flyer. So like a 2/4 flyer that becomes a 4/6 flyer, that's already good. The fact that it then buffs your entire board and works better in multiples is insane. So that's why we have 4 copies, even though we could usually tutor out with Pyre of Heroes and stuff like that. Here was, we have a Tabarrak's Hope's Demise, which is just like in case we need more card draw. This card, it's a creature that gets bigger, and whenever we sacrifice a cleric, which we might do to Pyre of Heroes, or whenever it just dies in combat, we can draw a card and lose a life, which is valuable. This is also a theme that becomes a big body, much like Clerics of Life Bond. I decided to only have one of, so we could tutor around Pyre of Heroes when we need it. I'm not sure how good this is. I have not had a chance to play it yet. But we will explain why I chose this instead of Veto the Dusk Rose. But there's one more 3-mana card which is worth noting, which is Skyclave Apparition. So this is, you've seen it a lot in Standard. It removes a creature that costs 4 or less, and then when it leaves the battlefield, they get illusion back. So it takes out the creature and then just, well, any threat. It's, yeah, any non-land, non-token permanent. So, then why do I have this? It's not a cleric, it's not... What it is the core spirit. Well, these two... This is a core cleric. This is a core cleric. So these two could sacrifice themselves to Pyre of Heroes to actually get Skyclave Apparitions to help me remove stuff. In addition, when we get to our 4-drops, there is in fact another core cleric that we can sacrifice the Skyclave Apparition to get. And this is a core part of our combo. Agadeem's Awakening is another, we only have 1 copy. I used to run 4, and then almost every single one of them became the Undercrypts. So I decided to turn them into Malakir Rebirth, see how that feels. Of course, over on 4, we have Aura Skyclave Aerophant. If you see me play with this, very valuable card, just makes it so that your creatures are every time you kill them, more come out behind them. With Pyre of Heroes, you could sacrifice creatures to get more creatures. You could sacrifice Aura to get back the Righteous Valkyrie you sacrificed to get Aura, while getting the 5-drop, which I'll show in a bit. We also have 1 copy of Legion Angel. This is more of if I know they're about to play a board clear that like exiles things, you know, like Ugin. This allows me to have a recurring threat that I could just fetch out really quick. It's worked okay. I do think that this is one of the lesser parts of the deck, and I could remove it and not have issues. But since it only takes 1 slot here, I think it's fine for now. Might pull it out when I make a best of 3 format for this deck, because it is taking up 3 sideboard slots, which makes it a bit more expensive. Now, why would I sacrifice these? Well, because we could get Angel of Destiny. So this is why I took out Veto the Dusk Rose. Veto the Dusk Rose, while an amazing effect that could be the kill for the opponent, it was a 3-mana 1/3, which is a very bad body. This, on the other hand, only 2 more mana, for twice the stats, 2/6. 6 health is very hard to kill in this format. There are some things that do kill it, such as Elder Gargadon, but like pretty rare. It has flying and double strike. So like I was trying this out with a Mirror historic deck, and someone brought out Arc like Phoenix, and I was just like punting with the Arc like Phoenixes with this. This also has that basically whenever I would deal combat damage to a player, instead I gain that much life. Because you both gain that much life. That ends up basically churning if you're facing a flying deck. This is actually what happened to Historic. I was facing a flying deck, and it allowed all my ground creatures to protect me just by swinging in. But here's the major part. At the beginning of your end step, if you have 15 or more life than your starting life total, and each player this creature attacked this turn loses the game. Note, you don't have to hit them. You just have to attack with Angel of Destiny. That's what makes this card amazing. That's what makes this card amazing. This is a win condition. This is an amazing win condition that also acts as life gain, while also being a 2/6 flying double strike body. That's why I have Angel of Destiny. Also, it's non-legendary, so I get to run 2 of them. And just in case I'm in a bad spot, and I have Angel of Destiny that I could fetch out, but I don't have the health to make it work, I can attack with Angel of Destiny, gain 4 life off of the trigger, and then sacrifice it to Pyre of Heroes to get myself my 1 Valkyrie Harbinger. This basically is just another Speaker of Heavens-like effect, that just, if I'm having trouble stabilizing the board, I pull this out. It makes the 4/4 white angels without me needing 27 life above my starting life total. It makes it very hard to attack into, because if I block and kill without this dying, the life leak's going to trigger, causing me to get another angel by the next turn. So this card's valuable in the deck, but I couldn't find a way to fit more than one. So from that, we just have our lands, of course the 4 pathways. I decided to try out 2 of the Snarls. This deck has enough early game that needs to get the right color that I decided it might be worth trying. And there are 14 basic lands, so that is pretty good. I've also, in the sideboard, just, I'm not planning to play this in best of 3 right now. I do want to make sure this works in best of 1. But I put in 2 flunks, which could remove the dire tactics in the future. In case people are wondering. This is actually an important theme. 1 rotation occurs. The only cards that are getting removed are the 4 Speaker of Heavens, the 2 Archfiend's Vessels, and the 2 dire tactics. The 2 dire tactics we could find some other solutions for. These guys, we're still looking for good Cleric 1-drops. We have not many good Cleric 1-drops, but I'm hoping we get a few with the next set. We already have this card called Cleric Glass that's coming in that I'm hopeful for. Might not work the way I hope it does, but it might work. So from here, I'm just kind of looking at some of the cards I might add later, like a Semester's End. Someone else talked about, I've been reading the comments on the YouTube when I originally showed this deck. They were talking about how they played Semester's End and Taborax. Semester's End seems like it's very much right for the right deck to prevent a board clear. I usually don't find myself with 4 mana left open anyways, but if I need this for a certain deck, it's good to have them. Worth noting about this card is that it exiles all the creatures and brings them back to play at once, so it causes all the triggers of Righteous Valkyrie all in an instant, which that is going to be insane. So for now, we're not going to worry about all that sideboard stuff. We're just going to try to get this deck working. So I haven't played Standard in a very long time, so I got knocked all the way back to Bronze Rank 1. So we're starting all the way from the bottom, working our way to the top. We're going to try it out, see how well this fares. If we start having problems, we can fix up the deck, but I do want to see how this deck works. I saw some guy played Rampage of Valkyries the other day in some Angel deck, and it was the first time I've ever seen the card. Yep. Rampage of Valkyries, first of all, you have to craft it. It doesn't appear in regular decks. And, how do I say this? The card... Ooh, we have a Lurrus of Dream deck. This is actually a good... I haven't had a chance to play this against any of the companions. No Lurrus, no Yorion. I haven't been able to play this against Rogues. I want to see how this fares against the harder decks. Unfortunately, it's like almost the last day of Standard. I recognize that. There are a bunch of Theeds that I do want to try out. Like, also, another thing I wanted to try out that people have looked into is adding Hofori Ghost Forge into this deck. In my experience, it doesn't seem to pan out very well, but it was worth knowing. Oh my gosh, I just realized this is Rogues. And anyways, this is why I really like the Righteous Valkyries, because having a pair... you basically want all 4 Righteous Valkyries whenever you can. Anyways, we are facing a devastating mill deck, so we just gotta hope nothing bad happens, that we manage our way through. So far, we've only lost lands. Alright, there we are, some actual non-lands. I'm not sure how many lands to non-lands I actually want to draw. Alright. So I'm going to start with a Professor of Symbology. So, the main problem with this deck is they have Drown on the Lock, which acts as a removal for basically anything I might want to do. I think I'm just going to grab the Environmental Sciences, because 1, it gains me 2 health, as we talked about. And 2, it's just going to guarantee I make my land drops when I need to. Alright, and Professor of Symbology does its job of being able to block the Thieves Guild Enforcer. So I have lost my angel, one of my Angels of Destiny. And yeah, having 2 Rune Crabs right next to each other is really painful. If we draw a Pyre of Heroes, we might not be able to use it very well. And, like, yeah, it seems like Rogues might not be very good against Rogues without Haunting Voyages. And kind of hard to get Haunting Voyages in this deck. It just costs so much mana. And, yeah. Alright. Let's play a Righteous Valkyrie. So that should stop the Wind Robber for a bit. No attacks. We want to save this to block the Thieves Guild. Alright. So yeah, he can't get that through, so he's just drawing cards. Yeah, so this deck actually has a lot of card advantage, which is what makes this deck so threatening. Alright, so we lost our Valkyrie Harbinger. And it looks like we also lost one of our Pyre of Heroes. Alright. You can't attack with a Thieves Guild because I have the Professor of Symbology. Alright. I'm gonna play the Righteous Valkyrie. I'm just gonna play a tap to Malakir Rebirth. It's a little unfortunate. This Thieves deck got double Rune Crab and is just wrecking our deck, and there's not much we can do about it other than try to get big. And the double eliminates, like the double removal for my Righteous Valkyrie has definitely made that much harder to do. Alright. I'm okay blocking. I'm not using that guy for anything specific. Alright. So, yeah, we're running low on lands, which is kind of a sad thing to be happening. I think we have to keep the Dire Tactics for when we need the Dire Tactics. Do I Skyclave? Do I hold up the Malakir Rebirth? That's kind of what I'm thinking of right now. I think I'm just going to Skyclave to get myself more life. I could have held up the Dire Tactics. That was definitely a strategy I could have done. But yeah, into the story. So, here's the thing. He is tapped out. While we are running very low on cards in the deck, and we have only one Righteous Valkyrie left in the deck. So I'm going to attack with that to gain to 25. Then I'm going to play Skyclave Cleric to gain 2 more, which will allow me to tap my Speaker of Heavens and get that working. I now have a Malakir Rebirth if it's necessary, as well as the Dire Tactics to, I have 18 cards left in the deck. I actually have to exile one of these Ruin Crabs to prevent... Because if he plays a land, if he plays, So if he plays a Fabled Passage, I lose right here. There's nothing I can do. The problem is this deck just mills too well when it gets milling. And he stopped all my airborne aggression, so there's not really much I could have done. So I have 6 cards. So if he plays another land, I lose the game. Do keep in mind, he did draw 3 of his Rune Crabs in the top 20 cards of his deck. So I'm not, like... I'm offended, but I understand. I should have played Cleric of Lifespawn first, just to gain a little more life. Alright, so he drowns that. And I think this is going to be game, because if he draws a land, we lose the game. Yeah, if he draws a land, at any time within the next several turns, which he just drew a bunch of cards, that's game. This is the Rogue deck. It's one of the strongest decks, and then he got a good start, it seems. Oh well. Oh well. And this is why, even though we're at Bronze Tier 4, like, we're facing Rogues. Like, it doesn't mean, just because we're at a lower deck start, does not mean we're actually facing any weaker decks. In fact, there's a whole theme where people will get to Mythic and then start playing around. So, also, this, it is the 5th, so, like, I think you need to get rid of crabs as soon as possible. I didn't know if that was necessary, and there was enough other threats that that deck could produce that I didn't want to rely on just having to get rid of the crabs. I just thought that I could kill him before those crabs became an issue. I did not realize 3 were coming out. You saw how I had to exile 1 later on. I definitely understand now that getting rid of the crabs ASAP would have been better, but I thought there are... Let me put it this way. Mill is not the only win condition for that deck. I would have... there's the 2-mana 1/3 Flash Flyer that when attacks Mill's cards. I want to exile that first, because that actually dealt with my health. Because if I got to 27 health with those Righteous Valkyries, I would have just, like, won that game and wouldn't have been anywhere near close. So, I didn't want to rely on that just yet. So here's the thing. If I play Skyclave Cleric, I think I have to. So, I'm going to first attack with Speaker of Heavens, see if he wants to trade the Edgewall for it. Alright. Yeah, I think I just have to play the Skyclave Cleric tapped. I just need to make sure I make my land drops. because we have a Righteous Valkyrie into Aura, so I think we have just a strong enough base as long as we make the land drops. Yeah. So yeah, for the last game, I did not expect to see multiple rune. When I saw the second rune crab, there was probably consideration that I should have exiled it. I just knew that that is far from their only middle cards, and I wanted to make sure they couldn't deal damage to me, so that once I got to 27 life, I became an unstoppable machine. The problem is they happen to have the eliminates for my creatures that value the 27 life. It was the combination of the two. Alright, just Spire Sentinel. No more attacking with the Speaker of the Heavens. Oof. Will states that this deck might need to use a bit more removal. If there is anything this deck lacks, it's removal. So next turn I could play Taborax. Get myself some life gain. Have the Agadeem's tapped, which, again, this doesn't really help me more than Malakir Rebirth. Alright, so he's a Swarm deck. I'm perfectly happy with a Swarm deck. It's the Adventures that really worry me more than the Swarm, which sounds really weird, but yeah, a 1/1 Flying Spirit is not terrifying. It's not scary to me. Skyclave Apparition. I could Skyclave the Edgewall Innkeeper. Or I could just play tapped Taborax, start getting more airborne pressure. Maybe 23, 24, 25, 20. Alright, so that'd be 23, 24, 25, 26, 27. So if I play the Agadeem's Awakening tapped into Taborax, I have a possibility, because yeah, if you have a Righteous Valkyrie, and if you have a Speaker of Heavens, Righteous Valkyrie, and 27 health, you basically win the game from that spot forward. Because you're able to make 6/6 angels that give you more life to maintain that life total. Really, I just want to make sure I maintain that life total right now. But yeah, right now if I play Aura into Archfiends, I win. I'm pretty sure you do. Oof. And if he kills anything that's not Taborax, I gain card advantage, which is valuable. Elite Spellbinder. Alright, so he has to take the Aura, I bet, which means I'll Skyclave and Archfiend's Vessel this. If he doesn't take the Aura, then I have the opportunity to, if he does not take the Aura, I have the opportunity to, win the game if I draw a Swamp, or just any untapped land, which I have 14... 15, 16, 17. I have 18 untapped lands, only 2 of which have been played. Alright, so he takes the Aura. So I can still play Skyclave into Archfiends, which is a pretty nice combination. And I'm probably going to eat the... Yeah, I'm going to eat the Edgewall Innkeeper just because he seems a little thin on cards. I want to guarantee he stays thin on cards. Righteous Valkyrie blocks the Elite Spellbinder. Alright. That was unfortunate. But yeah, I'm going to eat the Edgewall. And I would have been able to basically win the game there if he didn't have that Elite Spellbinder. Unfortunate. But we just move on with our lives. Alright. 24. Yeah, if I draw a land, 25, 26, 27, the Aura plays. And the reason I did want the Taborax is because one of my big problems is card draw. So, like, I need to draw lands. If I draw dead cards here, I could be dead. Oof. You can actually apply a lot of pressure if you wanted to. I'm just not sure if he realizes that that's the thing he should be doing. Anyways, this is a good show that Clarion Spirit's still a good card. I definitely, like, if I wasn't such a board-based deck, board clears would be very valuable in this deck. I used to run Doomscars in the sideboard, back when I was thinking of best of 3, but these, I'm on the board too, you know? Alright. I'm good with that, as long as he doesn't attack. I didn't draw my land. I did draw my land. Permanent, alright. So, target of a spell specifically. So I can Apparition away the Bone Crusher as well. That's good enough. Do I want Apparition away the Love... I want Apparition away the Lovestruck Beast, actually. I I just need one more land so I can aura and basically win the game. If he starts attacking, I no longer have that win condition. I had 2 shots to draw an untapped land to win the game, basically. So I missed them both. If he's smart, he starts attacking, and then my win condition is gone. I don't know what I'm doing from there. Showdown of the Scalds. Alright, so he has huge card advantage. I have to get that combo to win at this point. And I was so close, and it looks like it's all fallen away now. Unfortunate. Unfortunate. Yeah, so if he's smart, he should be using the Giant Killer to tap my Righteous Valkyrie so he could swing in with the flyers. I'm not sure if he's starting to realize it. You can see him hovering over cards. But yeah, if I had a land at any point, I could have played Aura and then tap the Speaker of Heavens to gain a bunch of life. Like, there was a bunch of things I could have been doing. He does have enough mana to play a Bone Crusher, but yeah. Is that a good play? It all depends. He is swarming me out. Not gonna deny that. Alright. And yeah, now that he has shown out the Scalds, I actually cannot beat it, I just realized. Alright. Oof. So, this is where I could come back, but... Alright, you need to go. Have a nice day, man. Have a nice day. Yeah, so if I had that a little faster, which I think I have more than enough ways to get to this point, if I had that a little faster, I think I could have beat him before he got to I think he's too far gone at this point. I think I'm too far gone at this point. He has too much board presence, too much on the field. I am making 6/6 Angels, but this relies on me not losing too much health. And he has a Bone Crusher Adventures deck, you know? Not sure how long I'm going to not have enough health. I'm going to have enough health, I should say. I'll block the Elite Spellbinder with my 6/6 Angel if that's what it takes. I'd say my favorite game from an independent developer would be the game from my best friend. Alright. Glad to hear, glad to hear. Yep, Bone Crusher's face because he's counting up how I deal enough damage to wipe this board. Because why wouldn't he? Because, yeah, he needs to bring me back to 26. If he does not bring me to 26, the game becomes mine pretty soon. Which is weird to say, especially when you have this board state. Alright. So, I think I actually go for the... Let's see. What could I exile that would be worth reduce the memory? I could exile the Elite Spellbinder, but I'm not sure that's even valuable compared to Pest Summoning to try to help with this board state that's coming here. Alright. So Pest Summoning isn't going to be creatures. I could just Environmental Sciences to get myself my aura. Huh. Nah. I'm going to go Pest Summoning, get myself more board presence. Because they're still 3/3s even though they're not... Alright, this just has flying. Alright. The longer this game goes, the more in my favor this game goes. So I'm perfectly happy if he doesn't want to do anything. So the reason I left both my Angels is so he can't attack with the Elite Spellbinder easily. He needs to play 2 cards. He needs to play 3 cards for Elite Spellbinder to be able to attack in without dying. Alright. Your opponents can't get spells from anywhere other than our hands. We now can no longer play Aura. Alright. So he has an 8/6 Elite Spellbinder that cannot attack through my 6/6 Angels. And that's all that matters. We win the long game. But my god, is it going to be a long game. Alright. I know... I'm going to tap the Speaker of Heavens now, before he realizes he could tap it with Giant Killer. Oof. Alright. So that... Oh, it was not the first time I gained life that turn. Anything worth attacking with? Nah. Only the 6/6s, which are busy blocking the elite spellbinder right now. Yeah. And we have 2 bots worth banning. Cracket Style, you still there? You mind banning the bots for me? Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Oof. Yep, taps down that creature. It is worth noting that if he draws another, giant killer, he does have a way to kill the Righteous Valkyrie, which is again why I really hope to get more Righteous Valkyries. I cannot play Aura, so I might as well just play this as a creature. Even if I get the land, I am not allowed to play Aura with Adraneth Magistrates. And we're just going to basically build up the board until Angel of Destiny can come. Until I find my Angel of Destiny. Oof. And then maybe I'll start talking with my angels. But yeah, I'm at 67 health. I do not see how he comes back. I do see how if I... Like, I still need to draw my Pyre of Heroes into Angel of Destiny sort of stuff, but... Again, I'm going to tap this now to make sure he cannot tap it with Giant Killer. I just do not want to risk him wising up to that. He might already be wise up to it and is waiting for me to cast the spell first. Alright. Yeah, he's starting to realize, like, he has no way out. The second Righteous Valkyrie basically said, even if he draws a Giant Killer, it does not matter. And anytime I drew Angel of Destiny or Pyre of Heroes to start fetching out my Angels of Destiny and stuff, he'd be in trouble. So, I do recognize why he abandoned there. But yeah, one of the valuable things is because I don't have card draw, having anywhere between 20 and 28 lands actually fixes a lot of the issues where you don't want to get land screwed or land flooded. So it actually allows for that to work. So that's very nice. Soul. Here to burn away my soul. Alright. Well, we have a swamp and a plains. Speaker of Heavens, we could decide if he's aggressive, we have the dire tactics ready. If he's defensive, we just Pyre of Heroes on turn 2. Oof. Let's see how this fares. Alright, so we put it at the bottom. So I'm wondering, because I have the Snarls, is it better to save the swamp? That's the big question. Because I think we have the color fixing we're going to need, so I'm going to save the swamp. I'm assuming he has like a Fire Prophecy. Yeah, if he kills the Speaker of Heavens, we're just going to play the Pyre, because why not? Mischievous Chimera. Whenever you cast your first spell during each opponent's turn, deals 1 damage to each opponent, and you scry 1. This is a human. You know what? We're just going to not deal with that. And this will also allow us to start attacking him with Speaker of Heavens, which is nice. That does mean he's going to have a lot of counter spells on the ilk, so we better be ready for that. Oh, and we even made the Winged Words cost more. Beautiful. Alright. Another Plains. Righteous Valkyrie. This should scare him at this point. Alright. So then I think we do play the Grimclimb pathway before the Swamp. Because, again, if we draw a Snarl, we want to have a basic land. Ooh, there's a raid! The SWAT Games, raiding you with a party theme. Thank you so much to the SWAT Games. Thank you very much. I do appreciate it. I do appreciate it. So right now we're just trying this... Oh gosh, I forgot my little add-on so you could actually see the deck. But it's Aura's Enclave Elephant, Pyre of Heroes sort of synergy deck that has been a lot of fun to play. Alright. So, he definitely has a counterspell. Whew. Teach me magic! Alright, so, I need to figure out what I'm doing, and then I'll explain what's going on in just a bit. So this guy has made it clear through his cards, the one in exile, that he has a bunch of spells they could play during my turn. So I'm gonna have to be ready. So how's it going? We're trying out this new deck, and we're seeing if it can perform, you know? Alright. So I'm gonna start by attacking with Speaker of Heavens, and just seeing what flash creature he has to throw and wreck me, basically. I want to pull out the flash creatures before the counter spells. So, we're attacking in first. Oof. There it is. Shock. Okay, I can appreciate a shock. Now, he's still holding up enough for a counter spell. You're a former Hearthstone turned Runeterra player. Interesting. Interesting. Alright. So he is holding up a cancel of some sort. So if I play Aura, it gets canceled. Is that a bad thing? Yes. I am going to Speaker of Heavens first, because I think this is threatening enough that he'll counter it, which will allow me to get my Pyre of Heroes down freely. Alright, it did not. I'm still playing the Pyre of Heroes. I'm trying to get countered. So basically this deck has a... So as you can see, both of these cards have abilities that say as long as I have 7 more than my starting life total, I have some additional ability that will generally win me the game. So right now what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to get my life total to 27. And there it is. Convolute. Counter target spell unless the controller plays 4. That's why I knew he was going to counter. I just need to find out what he was countering, basically. So I'm trying to get to 27 health right now, and he's playing a lot of cards to prevent that from happening. Alright. He only has 4 cards left in hand, which... I'm going to start attacking with the Righteous Valkyrie as well. I want to see him try Burying Books or something of that nature. I want to see him try to counter these spells before... Yep, there's the Brazen Borrower. I want to see him do that before it's time. Alright. I think I just go hard and play the Angel of Destiny he has a counter spell. So, but I need to pull out the counter spell. I need to play a card to pull out the counter spell. The question is just which one. I'm going to go with the Angel of Destiny because it makes the... If you plan to just play Brazen Borrower, it doesn't work very well for him. And so, like, he has to counter this spell. And if he doesn't, this wins me the game. He has a counter spell. Where the others, they can both work independently, still winning me the game. Yep, there's the second Convolute. He has a bunch of counter spells. This is what we expected. Alright, Sprite Dragon. But if he taps out anymore, he can't... Alright, so he's just attacking in. Alright. So here's the question. Do I Righteous Valkyrie to block the Sprite Dragon? Or do I Aura? Alright, I'm going to start by attacking. Yeah, I'm going to start with I'm going to play the Righteous Valkyrie. He has to have another counterspell. Does he really have a third Convolute already? Whirlwind Denial, close enough. So yeah, the Sprite Dragon, unfortunately, is going to start getting really big and preventing us from getting to the value we need. But he's running out of cards. This is the important part. He is running out of cards. If I can run him out of counterspells, I can land Aura, and Aura can help me get my Righteous Valkyrie using Malakir Rebirth and such. That being said, he's starting to apply pressure, and that's becoming an issue. So yeah, he has 1 card left. Alright, so I'm going to play the Aura. I don't think he has a counterspell. Does he really have his last card as a counterspell? Is he really that lucky? He is not. Good. Alright. So I know this sounds weird, but now we need him to try to kill my Aura. I really need him to try to kill my Aura so I can Malakir Rebirth it, which will allow me to get... So this will bring it back. He will try to kill it, and it will come back. And I will gain... The process will allow me to bring out my Righteous Valkyrie, which will gain me 3 life and get me a good body. That being said, this Sprite Dragon is starting to become a threat. This Sprite Dragon is starting to become a threat. I kind of hope he leaves his Sprite Dragon up to block at this point. Whew. My deck lacks card draw, so it kind of has to win with value. So the fact that this deck was able to just like aggressively go over is an issue I'm dealing with right now. Alright. He's trying to figure out what cards he wants, because one of the cards with with Expressive Iteration, one of the cards he has to play right now, so he's going to play the Opt. That Sprite Dragon can eventually just outperform in damage and make it so I can't solve the issue that there's a Sprite Dragon coming, you know? Oof. As long as he doesn't exile my aura when he kills it, I'll be fine. Alright. He never played the Opt, so he has a counterspell ready. I see no other explanation. Luckily, both of these have lifelink, so I will gain life when I attack, and this guy can only block other creatures with flying, so I get a swing in and not have to worry about getting blocked. The Cleric of Life spawn is going to start getting bigger. We could start counter-pressuring, which is nice. And if he kills something, it actually ends pretty well for me thanks to the Malakir Rebirth, because as long as he doesn't kill the Speaker of Heavens, it ends well for me if he tries to kill something. So right here, he tries to shock the Cleric of Life spawned. Do I want to keep it alive? No. I'm going to let him shock that. Aura triggers, allowing me to bring back my Speaker of Heavens that died recently. So now, if I get to 27 health, I basically win the game because these Speaker of Heavens can make a bunch of 4/4 white angels. And, yeah, it just ends up really insane. Whew. This is a good deck. This is a very powerful deck with... So Sprite Dragon is already a very powerful card, but then you have all these things that just come out early, prevent me from applying my pressure. And he has a strong deck. Yeah, I don't know why he wasn't attacking with Brazen Borrower. Alright. Why 27 health? For the Crane of the White Angels, have to have at least 7 more than your starting life total. Alright. He has a counterspell ready. So I could attack with Aura. So let's see. If I attack with Aura and both Speaker of Heavens, I will gain 25 health. Then I'll go to 24, 23. Then I'll go to 24, 25, 26. Can I view the opponent's deck? I can only hover over it and see that there's cards in the deck. So no, I can't see beyond that. Whew. So I'm trying to think, do I want to attack with Aura to get my Righteous Valkyrie back? Is that worth? Yes, because it allows me to block his Brazen Borrower. It is going to put me in danger, because if he has a kill spell, or if he has a counter spell, he stops the Malakir Rebirth. But... I wonder if he realizes what's going on now. Alright. So, let's see. So, I want that last. Yep. Let's grab my Righteous Valkyrie. So, the Righteous Valkyrie comes into play first, giving me this 2/4. That has flying, and that's important because it can now block the Brazen Borrower. And then I get my Aura. Alright. And I'm going to hold back the Swamp because I want him to think I have another kill spell or something of that nature. Another Malakir Rebirth. He now knows I have threats. Oof. If he attacks with a Sprite Dragon, that just leaves me free to attack with all, so he can't attack with a Sprite Dragon anymore. Alright. So this is a riskier maneuver because it leaves me very, very vulnerable. I am going to attack with Aura, gaining 3 life and dying in the process, but it gains me 3 life in the process. And that 3 life is what matters to trigger the Speaker of Heavens. There we are. So now I am at my life total. I can now activate this ability, creating a 4/4 Angel, which triggers Righteous Valkyrie to gain me... It's a 6/6 because of Righteous Valkyrie, and it also gains me 6 more life, and now we go off. And he concedes because he realizes we're about to gain like... we were about to gain another 30 life or something like that. In the next few turns, have a bunch of 6/6 flyers, which he could not overcome. Whew. So that's how the deck works. The problem is it's kind of slow and dirtily, and not very... It just kind of sits there and waits till there's a moment where I can explode. It doesn't explode naturally. So yeah, here's the full deck if you want to see it for yourself. Basically, it's Aura, who, as you saw, when he dies, feeds come back. We have Pyre of Heroes, which will allow me to sacrifice creatures to get bigger creatures. Because every card in this deck is a cleric that, you know, basically everything can search for itself. There are 2 exceptions to that statement that every card's a cleric. Skyclave Apparition, which is basically a creature and a removal spell, so it's very important in certain matchups. But the thing is, it will not be in Cleric, it is a core, and so this is a core Cleric, so it can still search for it. This is a core Cleric, so it can still search for it. And this is a core Cleric, so that I can then sacrifice my Skyclave Apparition to get my aura. Anyways, the main theme about this deck is just that Righteous Valkyrie, when I have 7 more than my starting life total, all creatures get +2/+2, plus it acts a lot of healing. This, whenever I have 7 more life than my starting life total, I could start making 4/4 white angels. Together, I could basically every turn make a 6/6 angel and gain 6 life, just from board state alone. And so that's one win condition, which you saw working reasonably. Another one is Angel of Destiny, which is just once I get into a spot where I'm gaining a bunch of life, if they have a way that I can't really win, Angel of Destiny, if I have 35 life, I can attack and basically just, if I have 15 or more life at the end of the attack, they lose the game. So potentially random question, are you a Rogue Legacy speedrunner? Not random at all. No, I am the second fastest Rogue Legacy 2 speedrunner. I just haven't been playing that game recently. But yes, that is how many people got to know me, because I am a Rogue Legacy 2 speedrunner. If you want to talk about that game, perfectly fine. I'm more than happy to talk about both. I am trying to focus because I know a lot of people are not into Magic the Gathering that watch my channel. So, I'm pretty sure, I'm 90% sure I followed you a while ago because of that. Yeah, so I tried to do variety games because I was originally just doing Rogue Legacy 2, and it just wasn't working out. So, anyways, since you play other card games, I should tell you what happens. Oh, 3rd place. Ace Law, did you get a better run? Dude, good to hear, good to hear. I haven't seen the scoreboard yet. Anyways, while this hand has playables, it's not playable until turn 3. If I'm facing an aggro deck, that's not good. So I'm mulliganing now. Just no one else has posted one. Oh, you're saying you're 3rd place. Okay, yeah. Ace Law is the 3rd place. I do know that. I thought you beat me, and that's why you were saying that. So you're like, mulligan. Why was that free mulligan? That's awesome. Well, because now I have to throw back, so I'm -1 card. So I don't need this Legion Angel. Usually the Legion Angel I can fetch out when I need it. But I could get a Speaker of Heavens, a Dire Tactics, a Righteous Valkyrie. Way better in case this ends up being an aggro deck. Oof. Alright. So, yeah, so basically you want good early game drops. Let's see, Ketria Triome. I'm trying to figure out what deck he is from that information. Which is probably not how I should be doing things, but it's how I'm doing things. So let's see, green, blue, red. That is Dimir colors. Is he just like the last deck? He's probably a lot like the last deck. But basically the way you beat a counterspell, you would say recent patch makes times invalid. Fair enough. I'll go back and do that later. Alright, 1 top is actually scary. So again, we're not playing the swamp, because we want to make sure we have a land in our hand. If we get what's the card called? We want a land in our hand if we get one of our snarls. So I'm actually gonna play all the pathways first, even though the whole idea is that they could be either color, so they're valuable. Alright, so he's a ramp deck, which tells me I have to deal with Ugin the Spirit Dragon. So Ugin the Spirit Dragon is basically, against this deck, it's an 8-mana card that says, when this enters the battlefield, you win the game. My deck has very few ways to counter it. It's a very good card. Alright, so let's scare him. I do need to get 27 health ASAP and just rush him down as soon as possible, because he's cultivating for aggro solutions. He is not white, so white would have cards to deal with his threat. There was a red mythic spoil today that's kind of silly. Alright. Alright, so what's he going to do is he's going to flash out a creature to try to block, and that's why this Dire Tactics is going to come in clutch. Or he's going to Brazen Borrower. I'm perfectly fine with Brazen Borrower, especially since he's not even dealing with the life gain. Alright, well, I just play another one. What's he foreshadowing? Arlen's Epiphany. That's the only thing I could think of that he would foreshadow. It's not that strong, it's just like a super meme. Alright, so he's leaving 2 mana up, I'm assuming for a second Brazen Borrower. He put the force in his hand, the island tapped, so he doesn't have a counterspell. Alright. Let's see if he counters this. If not, we might just win the game right here, right now. He has 3 mana open. So he has to have some sort of removal, or we could just be winning the game right here, right now. So we're attacking first because we actually need to value pressure over these creatures' lives. So we need to get him as low as possible. Because, as I said, if he has Ugin, I have no way of winning. Like, literally, from this board state, if he has Ugin, which is only 1 land away. So if one of these last cards is a land and Ugin the Spirit Dragon, I still lose the game. So I have to just hope that I don't... Is it Ugin? It's Arlen's Epiphany, which can still be Ugin, in case anyone's wondering. Because that just gives him an extra turn. And this only exiles creatures. Ugin's a Planeswalker, does not count. But yeah, at any point, he could draw Ugin the Spirit Dragon and we lose the game. So we need to just keep applying pressure. Get that 5 health to 0 ASAP. And there it is. So he -3s, and we lose the entire board. Yep. So this wipes our entire board, and the thing is he could do that again next turn. And that's what makes that card broken. Play a land in case we need to play the Dire Tactics. It's exile, so I can't even kill my own creature in response. Ugin can +2 to kill Aura, but that will allow me to get my Valkyrie back. Oh wait, no, they're all exiled. Nope. He could just kill the Aura with a +2, and I don't get anything back. Yep. So, at this point, I can't win the game. I'm going to stick around, because I want to see if I could have some way of winning the game. But I'm pretty sure now that he has Ugin in play, I cannot win the game. Doesn't matter that I'm at 45 life, and he only has 1 card in play. This is why, against Ugin Ramp, I don't have a way of... I don't have a solution. Because everything's exiled, so the graveyard effects don't matter. I'm going to exile this, because I'm only losing 1 health from this, and it just prevents the recurring damage. Because I need to stay at least 27 health to find a solution. Okay, I shouldn't have played that. I should have waited, because now he just pluses and kills it, and if I had 2 creatures in play, plussing and killing it is not the valuable solution. So I made a mistake there. I made a few misplays. My fault. Alright, here we are. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So, I might be able to at least not lose here. I'm not sure if he's holding up a counterspell, it doesn't even matter. If he's holding up a counterspell, this does not even matter. But Ugin would go off and just win the game next turn. This is what the Professor's Symbologies are for. If I drew that earlier, I might have had a solution a little earlier, but oh well. And he just counters it. Alright, that's game. I'm going to stick around just to see what he pulls out. But yeah, now he gains 7 life, draws 7 cards, and you're like, well, he lost his Ugin. Well, he's just going to play another Ugin as one of his 7 permanents. So, yep. So, anyways, that's the main issue with Ugin. Once they get to 8 mana, my deck can't really solve it, because its minus ability could kill everything, and then they get this sort of presence. Yep. So my deck has no solution to this board, and we're already now below 27 health. So we can't even take care of that issue. Oof. How's it going, SunkyCon? So anyways, our deck... So I'll show you our deck again, because I don't have the add-on allowing you to see the deck itself. But it's a Cleric deck that, as you saw there, dies instantly to Ugin. And that's one of the issues. So, like, the ramp decks can wreck us. But, yeah, we're doing some good old MTG. We have a Cleric deck. Basically, we have Pyre of Heroes, which allows us to sacrifice creatures to get ones costing 1 more. We use that to get some auras in play, which whenever we sacrifice a creature, we get another one that costs less. So these two synergize perfectly. Alongside the Righteous Valkyries, which are just an awesome card. Get 2 or 3 Righteous Valkyries, and they cannot deal with that board state. Speaker of Heaven's also great. All that sort of stuff. We also have an Angel of Destiny near the top end. This is more of a mid-range deck. Maybe play Humiliate. That could be a sideboard card, but the problem is, Humiliate... How do I explain this? Humiliate is board state negative unless I have a creature in play. It's very like... If I'm facing an aggro deck, Humiliate is not going to help me very much. And right now, this is more aggro-oriented. Maybe I could play Humiliate in the sideboard. As I said, I'm doing best of one right now, so that's not really the issue. And if I played Humiliate, it's like, do I rip out the Skyclave Cleric? Do I rip out... Like, what do I rip out in place of the Humiliate? If in a sideboard, when I'm not dealing with... when I know whether I'm dealing with aggro or control, Humiliate makes a lot more sense. So I will agree, Ace-Law. If I was playing against the Ugin deck, having Humiliate in my sideboard would be very valuable. You're correct on that. You need to go feed the doggo? Go take care of the doggo. Good job, SWAT Games. Good job. Does Pyre do anything versus aggro? Actually, yes. Against aggro, it allows me to sacrifice my 2-drops to get Righteous Valkyries. If you ever get 2 or 3 Righteous Valkyries against aggro, they can't do anything about it. Nothing about it. You gotta go do D&E stuff, so I'll be lurking. Have fun. Alright, I will. So we're trying to just rank up as much as we can, get used to what parts of this deck aren't working, what parts of this deck are working, and even though we're only Bronze Tier 4, because everyone's still starting their grind to back to the top, I'm still running into decks that are high-level tier decks. Oof. Alright. Whew. But yeah, thanks both of you for raiding. Alright, awesome. So we have 2-drop into 2-drop into 2-drop into Pyre of Heroes. We are going... So while this isn't the perfect hand, we are going first. So the fact that we don't have a 1-drop is something I'll accept. Alright. So depending on how aggressive this is whether we go Clerics of Life Bond into Skyclave, or whether we go Clerics into Pyre of Heroes. Oof. How's it going, man? Thanks you for saying hi. Now, he does have cards like Way Down, like so. So, that's not exactly the solution. But, here's the thing. We could kind of wait. We could just play our Pyre of Heroes, and then wait it out. Wait for an opportunity to, like, play a creature, sacrifice it immediately for a better creature. Or we could just play Righteous Valkyrie, because Righteous Valkyrie is insane. Pretty much only play for quests, and yet I'm Platinum. Nice. I usually play for just the fun stuff. Myers Grasp does not kill it, and that's the important part. I don't care, I'm not blocking, I don't need to block. Alright, so this will gain us 5 life, this will gain us... Okay, I'm gonna Arc Fiend's Vessel, Pyre of Heroes, and play this tap, because we need the land right now. Because if we play Angel of Destiny, that turns this around in some insane ways, and we can... sacrifice the Righteous Valkyrie to remove the Myers Grasp and get ourselves Aura. So, this has some good stuff. He's going to do Mogus's favor next turn. That's a good point. That means I could sacrifice it before that occurs. And he did not do Mogus's favor. Good to know. Not going to block just yet. Alright, so we have a human if we want Dire Tactics the Hateful Eidolon to prevent him from drawing cards. Yeah. And it exiles it, which is great. So I think, yeah, we sacrifice the Righteous Valkyrie to get Aura. Otherwise, we could sacrifice the Archfiend's Vessel. Yeah, no. We're sacrificing this because it's already a small creature to get ourselves Aura, which is a big creature. And the best part about this big creature is that if they kill it with Mire Triton, I just get the Righteous Valkyrie back. Beautiful. Dead weight. Alright, even if he kills the Aura, as long as he doesn't exile it, I'm fine. Alright. So here's where the power starts kicking in. So I'm going to block here, gain some life in the process, and this allows me to bring back the Righteous Valkyrie. Okay, so getting this many Pyre of Heroes is a little unlucky, especially when one more land gives us Angel of Destiny. But it will be alright. So now we can attack with this. We can immediately sacrifice it to get another aura, because of course. And then we'll play another Pyre of Heroes so we can double trigger Pyre of Heroes next turn. Alright, there we are. Get ourselves some good board states. He has some Serrated Scorpions for some life draining. I'm not really too worried about it. So far, I'm surprised this deck does not have, you only had, oh, because I exiled the Hateful Eidolon. Alright. I'm fine blocking like that. Killing one, gaining 3 life. Yeah, these don't have Death Touch. That's because he has another Call of the Death Dweller, but I'm okay killing this anyways. Alright. Do I Righteous Valkyrie, or do I sack Aura to get Angel of Destiny? And then I could sacrifice... Okay, yeah, I like it. So this is the play to just... He does not seem to have board clears, nor the mana for board clears. So here's the play. We bring back Righteous Valkyrie. We get ourselves an Angel of Destiny. Immediately gain 6 health. Then, we can now sacrifice the Archfiend's Vessel. Get ourselves to the health total we need. So now we sacrifice Archfiend's Vessel. And, let's see, we need 3 more health. So, we can grab Clerics of Life Bond, or I think Skyclave Cleric is just better at keeping our health total high. So now we're all pumped up. Even if he hits with a 2-1, he doesn't really stop our life gain. Angel of Destiny is going to give us even more life gain. Like, Mire's Grasp does not kill our Angel of Destiny or get close. Angel of Destiny has double strike, so if he attacks with the Mire Trion, I actually block and kill it before he can kill anything. Bloodchief's Thirstless Skyclave. Fair enough. Attacks with both, because that's why he thinks we'll win this. But then I double block here, and the Angel of Destiny's double strike gets rid of the Mire Triton before the Death Touch triggers. Bam. I'm not sure he realized the double strike. I actually think he definitely did not realize the double strike. Alright. And this will win us the game, right here. So we gain 8 health, we attack with both. Angel of Destiny gets bigger. We get this huge buff, we get all our health, and Angel of Destiny, whenever a creature... So... I now have over 15 my starting life total. Kills. But yeah, so in case you haven't noticed by the insanity of some of these cards, which we ranked up, awesome. But yeah, so right here, Righteous Valkyrie, whenever I have 7 more, +2/+2, and these stack. So having multiple Righteous Valkyries and Pyre of Heroes to get more Righteous Valkyries is what makes this deck really insane. That's what really pushes this deck over the edge. Angel of Destiny is just a win condition. It's just a cool win condition to have at the top end. That's why I'm using it for, and it does it well. It does it well. Moving forward, I'll pop open my packs at the end here, not during this run. I'm planning to go on for another 50 minutes at least. If people want to talk about the game, try to get a better understanding of what's going on, anything of that nature, feel free to just let me know, talk, and I'll respond. The big 202. Alright. So we don't have many lands. We do not have many lands, but we have Archfiend's Vessel into Professor of Symbology, which gets us to Environmental Sciences, which is a land. Oh my gosh. I'm so glad I have Environmental Sciences in my sideboard now. Oh my gosh. I knew Professor of Symbology was a good card. I didn't realize it was a good card. So then, depending on how much board presence he has, which he seems to be an aggro deck if he's playing red at all, I'm okay blocking. Go ahead, I gain a life off of the process. Alright. So he's an aggro deck. Because he's an aggro deck, I am actually going to grab the Pest Summoning. And the Pest Summoning, because it creates a bunch of 1/1s that, like, the 1/1s can block stuff like Hall Monitor, and it gains me life in the process. So... Alright. We're going to play the Righteous Valkyrie, because the Righteous Valkyrie actually cannot, like, he could burn, as I was expecting, but Frostbite, Fire Prophecy, cards like that, cannot kill the Righteous Valkyrie. So then we play another Righteous Valkyrie, because Righteous Valkyrie is insane. Gain more life. You know what? I'm going to play Aura for security, I think. Have him kill the Righteous Valkyrie right now. And we'll just leave these to block. I just need to get to 27 health and then I win. If this is not a big red deck, because if it was, it wouldn't have Hall Monitor. If he kills the Aura, I can bring out either the Professor of Symbology or the Archfiend's Vessel, depending on which just seems more important. Alright. And this is basically game. So now we can attack in. Aura has lifelink. Even with a Torbrand, he just doesn't have the power output. He just does not have the damage output. And I take out half his health right now. If he manages to kill the Righteous Valkyrie using Torbrand, I Malakir Rebirth it to keep it coming back to play, and it even gains me like 8 life in the process. Just to get you an idea of how, once this deck gets to 27 health, it wins. You have to get to 27 health, and they can't play Ugin. Then it wins. Gosh. Ugin's rotating out of the format, by the way, so we have that to our favor. Ugin's rotating out of the format, and only 8 cards in this deck are rotating out of the format. Or 3 cards, 8 of which are played when you add in copies. However you want to phrase that. Jimjamaru! He's playing with Fibblethip. One of the best visuals. One of the best visuals. I go first again. Alright. Do I want... I'm going to play the Plains. I'm just trying to think, do I want to play Clerics of Life Bond or Professor? I think it's Clerics of Life Spawned. Yeah, it's Clerics of Life Spawned. Again, because now I have the Snarls, I'm going to be playing the Pathway first. And we usually want 2 Plains, 3 Swamps. So that's why I played that as a Swamp. Oof. Alright, so we're playing a Rogues deck. Well. Play the Righteous Valkyrie. Give myself some life gain. Do I need to attack in? Let's see, if I attack in... Let's see if you... So I'm just thinking about if he plays the 1-3. How do I respond? If he does no damage, I Skyclave Cleric and go to 27. So I think that's the play. He needs to put 4 more cards in my graveyard. Alright. Blood Chief's Thirst. So that's my theme, but I also stop his Wind Robber from attacking in. Brazen Borrower, man. Brazen Borrower. Alright. Well, now he's getting close to there. I have to play the Righteous Valkyrie again, except this time I have to play the Skyclave Cleric tapped. Alright. The Aura could actually help me quite a bit, because it allows me to bring out creatures that die whenever something dies. The problem is he does have... Gosh, why can't I not think of the card right now? Drown of the Lock active. Drown of the Lock just pushes this deck, the Rogues deck, over the edge. I do not have any counterplay to Rogues because of Drown of the Lock. Because of cards like Drown of the Lock. Alright. So I could Tabarax plus Professor of Symbology. If I Professor of Symbology... Oh, I could Angel of Destiny. Does that... I'm trying to think. Angel of Destiny means that the Thieves Guild gets killed. Nah. I'm just trying to think what lesson I take with Professor of Symbology. Oh, I just realized he has enough mana for Drown in the Lock, number 2. Which, the way he hovered over it tells me he has it. Yep, the way that he's just patiently waiting tells me a Drown in the Lock is on its way. So if I Mascot Exhibition, it doesn't even really help me that much. Pest Summoning doesn't help me either. Do I Environmental Sciences just to get my mana, or do... I think I just hold the Reduce to Memory so that I have a removal if I need it. Alright. Huh. So he was just holding that up. He didn't have a Drown in the Lock. Feel a little bit better now. Oof. If I could play the Aura without it getting killed, that'd be good. He has a Brazen Borrow sitting back. Do you want to keep something for that Brazen Borrower? I'll block the Thieves Guild, Professor of Symbology. I'm perfectly happy. Heartless Axe that. Not surprised. Not surprised at all. He has enough for the Brazen Borrower. I'm not sure if he has the Drown Lock. Alright. That's fine. That's actually okay. Alright. I think I actually Angel of Destiny because it stops the Thieves Guild. The Double Strike stops the Thieves Guild Enforcer. Aura is better if I had... He only has one card left in hand, so I'm going to say this plays. Yep, no pause. He does not have it. Drown the Lock off the top or something like that does ruin me, but that was a land off the top. Feel a lot better. Not sure if he realizes this is Double Strike. He does not. Alright. We start with Aura. Awesome. And I do not care if Brazen Borrower hits me, I don't think. Yep, this gains me more health. It gives me one more health, but allows him to attack in if he has the right cards. I'm going to cancel attacks. I'm going to let the Angel of Destiny sit. Next turn I'll play Legion Angel, and then I'll swing in. Whoa! Whoa! So, because he didn't get any card draw, he didn't have a solution in. My deck, the problem was card draw. Other decks, if they don't get card draw, they're in trouble. So that deck, because he got none of his card draw, I was able to beat him out. That feels good. That feels good. So I'm trying to think, how do I beat Rogues? Because that's one. Just if they don't get their card draw. Humiliate solves that as well. Humiliate can pull out their card draw cards. Alright, with the double Malakir Rebirth, we actually have all the lands we need. Opponent goes first, but we have Speaker of Heavens into Dire Tactics, with a Malakir Rebirth being held up and Aura in the later on. Usually I want to get these with Pyre of Heroes. I do want other cards, because Fervent Champion is an issue. Just flat out, that card specifically is an issue. Next turn I could Swamp, have Dire Tactics ready. Then I could play Attacked Malakir Rebirth. Like, double Fervent Champion is really bad for me, because they could both attack, giving him +2 on each side. Alright. I'm not blocking. I literally just stop 2 damage, I lose my lifelinker. He's going to turn 1. Yep, Rim Rocket. Alright. So this deck, I just need to stem the bleeding. That's all I need to do with this. I'm going to wait for him to go to attackers in case he wants to play, like, Bone Crusher or something. Yeah, if he just plays Rimrock, I'm waiting for him to declare combat, but I'm not going to let him to declare attackers because the Fervent Champions will start. Alright. That's a weird card to have here, but it's actually the card I need to exile because it can get bigger in a way that the other 2 Fervent Champions aren't exactly as capable of getting bigger. And I know this is 4 damage a turn. There's nothing I can do about that. But yeah, this is the aggro deck. Alright. Reveal a Swamp. Oof. Next turn I get Aura, which will help me deal with these Fervent Champions a bit more. But yeah, we did not get our 3 drops, which hurts us pretty drastically. He only has 2 cards, so even double Malakir doesn't do anything for us. Yep. What's he pull off the Robber? He gets Clerical Life Bond. Alright, so I do need a... This mitigates 1 point of damage. Blocking and then Malakir Rebirthing, I think. It's not worth it. Alright. Professor of Symbology alongside 2 Malakir Rebirths. It blocks some of the damage. Let's see. I can grab Environmental Sciences, gain myself 2 health there. Or I could just play Aura, and if he has a removal, I lose the game right on the spot. I think I have to Professor of Symbology, pulling out the Environmental Sciences just to gain 2 life. I don't like it. If I pull out the Pest Summoning, that doesn't help me much anymore. Yeah, if he has Embercleave, we just lost, by the way. I'm not playing around Embercleave. So it's just, do I play Aura, or do I play Professor into life gain? If I play Aura, I can double block. Alright, so this allows me to double block. So even though my Aura might die in the swing, the Speaker of Heavens at least can be pulled out in return. So if he has Embercleave right here, I lost the game. There was never anything I could really do about it. Yeah. If he has Embercleave, he just had the perfect curve. Yep, there's the Embercleave. You cannot beat an aggro deck that goes first, has double Fervent Champion into Embercleave. Like, even if I sideboard for this, not really much I can do. Oh, I'm not dead yet. I mean, yet. Skyclave Apparition cannot take the Embercleave. In case it costs 6 mana. I could take the Robber of the Witch, but then he just equips to a Fervent Champion. Professor of Symbology. Oh, I can reduce to memory. But I don't even get... That doesn't even help me win. I'm going to have a Pest Summoning for another turn. Let's at least pull out... Let's see, if I take out the Robber of the Rich, he equips it here. He has a 3/2. Yeah, Fervent Champion's equipped for free as well. Yep. So let's see. I'm pretty sure I've already lost, but I did want to give it that one more turn. But yeah, you get double Fervent Champion, Robber of the Rich, Embercleave. Like, was that turn 5 Embercleave? All right. Didn't have my 3-drops. Righteous Valkyrie might have helped me quite a bit there. But it's like, he went first. He's the aggro deck. He got a good start. Can't do much. So yeah, he just equips it. That deals 6 damage with trample. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's still not even enough. I can't even block the initial Fervent Champion because this gives him trample and double strike. So he's dealing 6 damage. And I have 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 health total. Yep. And we die to the first Fervent Champion. Because this one just goes through. Oh well. I don't take the losses to an aggro deck too hard. Especially when the aggro deck gets the curve like that. The Malakir Rebirths, I think they could have done something had I survived long enough to actually use them. Problem with surviving long enough to actually use them. Oof. Opponent goes first. We have 3 lands next to this. We have a Professor of Symbology, which will help us deal with the land problem. It looks like we're probably going to face another rogue. Unfortunate. So do we play Archfiend's Vessel on turn 1? Or Professor of Symbology on turn 2? That's basically the 2 questions. I'm going to have to play these tap lands at some point. I'm going to play them now. Because it messes up later. This turn I could do turn 2 Professor of Symbology. Then I could play another 2-drop like Dire Tactics or Speaker and Archfiend. So this is just slightly better. Merfolk Wind Robber. Alright. Actually, I could go Speaker or Arcfiend and get my lifelink started up. There we are. So now we have a bunch of 1/1s. I can attack with both, gaining life in the process. If he is foolish enough to block my Arcfiend's Vessel, I could Malakir Rebirth, turning it into a 5/5 demon. Meanwhile, I could either Dire Tactics or Professor of Symbology threats. Or, yeah, Professor of Symbology to get myself cards is still good. Blood Chiefs, there's that. Alright, fair enough. Alright, that was a card. Alright. The question is, what do I even want to learn from this? So we're facing Rogues, so he's going to have a lot of flyers. Pest Summoning's not valuable then. Mask Observation's just not going to make it. Reduce to Memory does deal with a threat, but then I think it just doesn't solve the issue. I'm going to play second Arcfiend's Vessel right now, and I can Malakir on another turn. So yeah, next turn, even if I don't draw a land, I could Environmental Sciences for a Plains, Dire Tactics, and put myself in a good spot. Alright, Thieves Guild Enforcer. Not surprising. Alright. Awesome. Alright. So, how do I want to do this? I'm going to attack with both Arcfiend's Vessel. I have the Malakir Rebirth ready. I could also Dire Tactics anything that comes into play that's worth doing that too. Yep, this is what I expected. So I can Dire Tactics this. Yep, I do not like seeing that guy in play for long. Alright. He's gonna block, as expected. Oof. And I'm gonna Malakir Rebirth it. And that should give me a demon, a 5/5 demon, to block anything in the air. So it comes back to the battlefield from the graveyard, which causes it to exile itself to get myself a black demon with flying. And he cannot attack with a Thieves Guild because of the Professor of Symbology in the way. Has to Heartless Act that. Fair enough. He is running low on cards. The Windropper does help him there, but he cannot attack with Thieves Guild Enforcer. Legion Angel or Aura? He has 2 mana left open. Let's see. I'm gonna Aura. If he counterspells, then at least I pulled out a counterspell. If he doesn't, I can attack with Professor of Symbology, block with the Aura to get my Righteous Valkyrie. Either way, we get more information from him. If this happens to be a Heartless Act, he has to play it now, and, like, just... That puts him in a weird spot. It's a Drown Lock. That was the unfortunate part. I knew that was a possibility. Alright. Well, he Drown Locks that, so my Legion Angel can give me Airborne Superiority. As long as he doesn't draw a card draw. Soon. Yep, my Professor of Symbology is preventing the Thieves Guild Enforcer from attacking. Which is all it needs to do. All that you need to do right now. Oh god. Oh god. I forgot about Zareth San. Just so many of the decks are Lurrus decks, I forgot this was even a card. Oh my gosh. That sucks. That sucks. Fortunately, I don't have any creature that is, like, single-handedly winning me the game. Yet. Alright. Well, I'll play the Legion Angel while you're tapped out. get myself another Legion Angel. Aura doesn't do much for him. Do have to find a way through him, is the problem. So the Legion Angel can block Xerath Sand. Oof. Favorite indie game, Yep. I was just like, I thought you were bringing up that I'm playing Magic the Gathering. I was like, favorite indie game. Totally act like they are indie, but nah. But I just thought it was funny at first. Great. Alright. Gotta make sure Xerath Sand doesn't get any more triggers. Alright. Could use this, gain some life, and get a land. Just filter our deck a little bit. Legion Angel helps stop Xerath Sand at least a little bit. He's not getting card draw, which means this card advantage could end up being the deciding factor. The last Legion Angel could end up using Pyre of Heroes to get what I need. And Brazen Borrower wrecks us. Great. Yeah. There's just certain parts. How's the build been running? Fine, but the problem is we're facing a lot of rogues. It can't do anything against rogues. We're facing some Ugin decks. I already knew this deck couldn't do much against Ugin. Actually, all that means is that I just need to add Humiliates into the main deck, because just the format I'm facing right now needs to deal with Humiliates. It's just a lot of the strongest cards in the game right now are like the decks that belong to the strongest decks in the game, that sort of stuff. They're just too strong. They're just too strong. Just flat out simply, these decks are too strong. I can't really beat them right now. Still getting destroyed by Eldraine Adventures. Yep, I didn't even realize the Brazen Borrower. Eldraine Adventures, but also, Alright, I have a way I can survive. I can Dire Tactics the Legion Angel. And... Alright, he could just play Brazen Borrower. Never mind. Yep. I'm just gonna do that and concede because he already has board presence to kill. Yep. So Eldraine, once Eldraine rotates, this deck becomes a lot stronger. There's only... So, 3 cards, 8 copies in total in this deck that are from Eldraine. But we need to... Or that are going to rotate out. So once this deck once things rotate, this deck becomes a lot stronger. So I need to add in Humiliate, just because the format really calls on this. We're going to craft 2 copies. See how this works. And let's see what we pull out to add the Humiliates. So I don't think Maze Mind Tome's going to help. Okay. Let's remove craft. I don't think Maze Mind Tome's going to be like solving the key issues here. Alright, so we have these in the sideboard. So where are we putting in the sideboard to take out the Humiliates? Tabarax has not been performing as I need it to perform, so that will be one of the things that go. I think Agadeem's Awakening, just like... There's no decks right now where Agadeem's Awakening really helps. So there's 2 Humiliates. Let's see how that fares. Oof. Just keep moving. Alright. I downloaded it on my phone and it actually is so good. Man, I'm surprised it works. I'm surprised it works on your phone, man. That's impressive. That's impressive, Target Face. Whew. Alright. So we have early game. Awesome. And we go first. I swear. Hearthstone better watch out. That's a good point. Yep. So, with this deck, it feels like whether I go first or second ends up being major, and it's like it's less of the deck and more of the format. Just like the aggressive decks are too aggressive. Alright, the Gem Razor deck. Can I beat the Gem Razor deck? I think so. Alright. So, we're going to have the Professor of Symbology, and we're going to just prematurely grab Reduce to Memory. The idea being that if he has, like, some big mutate if he ever makes a big mutate creature, we can just rip it apart. And he now knows that's a possibility, so he's going to avoid that. Alright. So I could attack with my Professor of Symbology quite safely. The Gem Razor prevents me from playing Pyre of Heroes. That's unfortunate. But I have other ways, other paths. No creatures in graves, so Scavenging Ooze cannot get bigger. If he Gem Razors, we can reduce. Alright, so it has Trample, but that does not matter. So, if I Pyre of Heroes, I could sacrifice it immediately to get another Righteous Valkyrie, but I'm not sure what that does for me. Otherwise, okay, let's see. This will give me 5, this will give me 6. Alright, perfect. So, bring me to 26. Bring me to 27. There we are. I'm going to attack with the Archfiend's Vessel for lifelink. And I think the Professor of Symbology. I want to keep the Righteous Valkyrie to block Gem Razor Scavenging Ooze. There's only artifacts and enchantments, so we're in pretty good shape now. We're in pretty darn good shape now. Next turn, we could use the Pyre of Heroes, sack the Skyclave to get myself another Righteous Valkyrie. Yep. I think this is basically game at this point. So now I just grab another Righteous Valkyrie. Everything becomes super massive. We activate this just to get ourselves the extra life gain now. And we attack with all. Yep. So when this deck works, it works amazingly. The problem is, I do not like how this is basically an aggro deck. I do not like how this is basically an aggro deck. It feels bad. I want this to be a mid-range deck, but whenever this deck seems to work, it's because it's going aggressively. Oh well. Oh well. But yeah, the big, strong decks of the format, this is nowhere near tier 1. This is tier 3 at best. Like, yeah, it works against the decks that are off-meta. The off-meta decks. It actually... So the Raw Adventures package, it managed to beat the Raw Adventures package. Basically, this deck, as long as they don't have Ugin, and that this deck can get to 27 health, it wins. But the problem is, top-meta decks either don't give me the space to get to 27 health, or have Ugin. Another go first, which is a good sign for me. Gosh, this Professor of Symbology is doing amazing work. This Professor of Symbology might replace some other cards. Alright, I don't know what this opponent's deck is, but I think we still have to play Professor of Symbology here. The question is, what do we grab? So we only know it has the color black. Environmental Sciences is safe and effective. We're just going to pick that. Get myself more health for Speaker of Heavens. Shenaniganery. Alright. $22, $23, $24. So yeah, next turn I can start activating Speaker of Heavens. Oof, that's good. That's good. Alright. I'm only going to attack with the Archfiend's Vessel, just to make sure. Oof. Alright. He did nothing. So we're going to leave the other Speaker of Heavens in our hand in case of a board clear. In case of a board clear, we want the other Speaker of Heavens. Demons of Survival. Each player sacrifices a creature, Planeswalker. I could Malkia Rebirth Archfiends. Yep. Sorry, sir. Wait, hold up. That was Mardu. He was the Cleric deck. He was trying to be the Cleric deck. So I will say this is probably I will say this is better than the Hofri Ghostforge Cleric deck, because Hofri Ghostforge doesn't really do anything that Aura doesn't already do. And if Aura fails, hopefully just fails worse. Because of that. Alright. Whew. We have a few more games in us before our time limit hits. We have not been able to try out these Humiliates. We tried Tabaraks out, and just seems like the decks where we need Tabaraks are decks where they have removal spells. So, Tabaraks really was not cutting it when we were trying it. We will be seeing how Humiliate feels. Going first again, but we do not have a hand that supports it. Okay. I think we have to get rid of the Dire Tactics. Or do we risk it and take out a Shine Shadow Snarl? I don't think it's worth the risk. Oof. Alright, yeah, that felt okay. Shine Shadow Snarl feels okay. Oof. We got a good curve. Clerics of Life spawned, active. Oop. I'm gonna silence that. Oh, he's a mill deck. I actually feel a lot better now. So both Snarls have been played, so I could play the basic land without worry. We're facing a mill deck, so we just aggro them out because we can. Yep. Doesn't even care. I'm gonna check my phone real fast to make sure it wasn't anything important. Okay. Yep, no, nothing. Something important for future, but not right now, so. We good there. So yeah, exactly. When I'm not facing rogues, this deck works fine. And adding the Humiliates instead of the Tabaraks or the Agademes seems to have 0 effect on our play. So that's good. The combination of the two is really good. Oof. Yeah, if I want to make this more controlling, I definitely need to start adding card draw. But I don't know where to find good clerical card draw, because Tabaraks, unfortunately, is not enough. Alright, Dwitchern. Here we go, Dwitchern. Opponent goes first, unfortunately. But we have 2-drop into a removal, into Aura with Skyclave on the back end. I think that's good enough. And yeah, we have enough basic lands that the Shine Shadow Snarls seem to be working just fine. Alright. No idea what deck they are yet. I'm worried if they pull out blue, I'm just going to be like, rogues. Alright, not blue. That feels good. Whew. I twitch. Okay. With Clerics of Life spawned, I could Skyclave that, which actually kills it, doesn't give him a learn, only gives him a 1-drop. Like, that's actually pretty good. That's actually pretty good. Oh, that needs to die first, though. That needs to die first. Bastion of Remembrance, you need to go. Alright. I don't care if he gets a 3-3. I need to make sure to stop his life gain. Mardu Sacrifice. Interesting. Alright. So we now have enough white, so we could play this as a Grimcline Swamp. Alright, he had a second Bastion, which I'm okay with. Alright. How do I want to do this? Alright, so we definitely want to play this. I'm just wondering, do I play Speaker of Heaven's Skyclave Cleric, or do I play Aura? I think it has to be Aura. So this makes this into a 3-3, which means that can attack in without any issue. And we're doing fine. Not having 2 Bastions in play is valuable. I'm happy that I made that decision. If he turns this into a Sacrifice deck, they play that Plumb the Forgotten card. Makes sense. Makes sense. Alright, he has to Aquaron War my Aura. Alright. Alright. I think I wait till next turn to play the Speaker of the Heavens, because I don't want to be forced to attack with it. Yeah, Crone War does deal some damage to this deck. Aww. He's gonna sacrifice it, isn't he? I think we just take all the damage. Yep. I'm happy taking all this damage. I really... The one thing I don't want to see is Woe Strider. Like, I just don't want to see him having a concurrent sacrifice outlet. I'm okay with some sacrifice outlets. I just need to not have a concurrent sacrifice outlet, basically. Oof. Next turn I get Angel of Destiny. Alright, so he plums. It's okay. He draws a lot of cards, but we'll survive. We will survive. We have an Angel of Destiny to get our life back up there. And then we have a Valkyrie Harbinger behind it, if we can draw a land. Yeah, if we draw a land, we could Valkyrie Harbinger, Angel of Destiny, and that's going to be good. Oof. Plumb the Forbidden, that worked really well for him. Not going to deny that. Alright, so I think we're forced to attack this turn. Yep, forced to attack. Going to double block the Skyclave. Alright. I'm going to leave you with the Serrated Scorpion. Alright. So yeah, kills the Clerics of Life spawn. I'm not too worried about that. We have an Angel of Destiny. The Speaker of Heavens is just a 1/1 lifelinker. That's all it needs to be. He cannot claim the firstborn, the Angel of Destiny. The Angel of Destiny next turn will attack, and then I'll Valkyrie Harbinger, give me a bunch of 4/4 flying creatures, which is good enough. Another Crone War, though. Another Crone War would end very badly for me. Let's just hope he doesn't have second Crone War, basically. So yeah, we're going to attack with Angel of Destiny. Hope he doesn't block with Eye Twitch. Why wouldn't he block with Eye Twitch? Alright, because he sacrificed it with Plumb the Forbidden. Alright. Yeah, so this seems like a pretty strong deck. I actually like this guy's deck. I don't like the Crone Wars and all that, but it's fine. I mean, I don't like a Crone War because that card is annoying, but it leaves with rotation. I can add Element Croc Fumes. I'm okay with that. So, you know, Croc Fumes that, so now I could Valkyrie Harbinger here. God, if he has another Crone War, that just ends the game. Please don't have another Crone War. Please just have Claim of Force Burns and the like. Alright, that's fine. He doesn't have another learn card. Because, yeah, if this Valkyrie Harbinger can trigger once, I think we're back in the game. Unfortunate. And now we have way too many lands. We played one land that wasn't a land naturally. Alright, two. No. That's a pathway. Yeah. We played one land that wasn't naturally a land. So, this is just a little misfortune. That's all it is. And yeah, he has a full hand thanks to the Plumb for the Forbidden. Can Plumb the Forbidden work in this deck? No, it can't. Every creature is a creature in and of itself. Sacrificing it. I mean, maybe as like when they use targeted spells, I can use it to draw two as a draw two, but like can't really rely on Plumb Forbidden. I'm gonna no block because there's a possibility of Malakir Rebirth. Turning this guy into a 5/5 is worth the while. Alright. Yeah, by the way, if I didn't take out the other Bastion, I'd be dead long ago. Alright. That's what I do not like seeing. Honestly, I might sideboard Woe Strider in case of rogue decks, just so I could rip out my graveyard. Is the 5/5 demon worth it? I think it's worth it on block. If I can block with the Archfiend's Vessel, the 5/5 demon is worth. Oh, I just realized he could sacrifice the creature I'm attacking with Woe Strider, unless I block specifically Woe Strider. And that's game. He can literally sacrifice all these creatures to get himself the damage, if he realizes it. One, two, three. Yeah, I died before the lifelink triggers, I'm pretty sure. So, I have to do this, because I'd be at 2 health. And then, yeah, he just starts sacrificing, and Bastion of Remembrance ends the game. Unfortunate. That was a cool deck. I'm okay losing to that one, because it was a cool deck. He did have a on-curve of Crone War, which did solve a lot of what I could do, which felt a little bad on my part, but, like, hey, man, you pulled it off. You pulled it off. Let's see, Woe Strider leaves, a Crone War leaves, Bastion of Remembrance, I'm pretty sure, leaves. Like, yeah. Yeah, once rotation occurs, I think this Cleric deck will be really strong. Not to mention, we're getting the card Cleric class. It's kind of sad. Like, this is going to be forced into mid-range simply because there's no one-drop Clerics. But, I go first. Alright. We will be seeing how good this Humiliate works in just the regular deck. Because I think we're just going to be playing Swamp, Humiliate him, and so next turn we go... just so that we could attack with a 2/2 Speaker of Heavens. Oof. Let's actually see how Humiliate feels. Alright, so we're facing against white aggro. So taking out his Heliod also feels good. Target opponent. Alright, 2 Daxos. Don't really care. I think I just rip out the Luminarch Aspirant and just say you can't really play them all with Cyclades anytime soon. Yep. That actually felt pretty darn good. He can't attack with the outside until he gets them all active. Daxos does block my Speaker of Heavens, but... all it does. 2. Go play Skyclave Cleric now, because that would bring me to 23-24. So next turn I could attack with my Archfiend's Vessel. Gain 25. Then Skyclave Cleric, 26-27, tap Speaker of Heavens. Unless he drew a land to get small Skyclaves. Fair enough. There's enough lands in his deck that could happen. But if he leaves it to block... if he decides he needs to leave it to block... perfection. He's even mana ruined, so I can exile Daxos. And I have all these creatures. Now, let's just attack with it. Alright, you want to kill my Archfiend's Vessel? I'm fine with that. Speaker of the Heavens starts triggering. This is an aggro deck. He's not going to have board clears. So yep, even if he gets the Outslade Maul with the Skyclaves, my 4/4 Angel blocks it. Alright. Selfless Savior. So he can't really kill his creatures, but I don't think that matters. So here's the question. If he equips that, that turns into a 4/7. I can't. They block it particularly well anyways. We're gonna hold up a threat. Hold up a scare. Yep, so now he has the mana to equip Maul. But I can keep blocking with my 4/4 and making a 4/4 to keep applying pressure. Alright. And now time to apply even more pressure. Mahaha. So I attack next turn, because next turn I can attack with all my flyers and threaten lethal. This turn I don't threaten lethal with such a maneuver. He needs to sacrifice the Alcite to give Daxos protect pro white so he could attack in for the lifelink. Or to bring me below. Oh, but then I just attack with Speaker of the Heavens, I get it back. He'd have to then block, sacrifice Selfless Savior. Yeah, and he's dead already. So yeah, that was never a play for him. Since I got the Dire Tactics in time, that was not a play. And that Humiliate felt really good. Alright, so Humiliate was the correct play. So Humiliate is better than Taborax, and Agadeem's Awakening is not necessary. Yeah, I definitely have a lot more lands that shock into creatures than is probably necessary. I could probably even trade out another Malakir Rebirth for that 2-mana 2/1. Oh, he just main decks Lurrus. Makes sense. Thing is, I'm threatening lethal in the air if he doesn't realize it. This doesn't have... Oh! Well, I was going to say he could sacrifice, but... Alright, 4/10. Block with everything, I actually kill it. Force him to sack a Selfless Savior. Alright. Force him in a bad spot. They all have flying, so you can't really do anything with that, Lurrus, sir. Sorry to tell you that. Yep. Congratulations, you killed one. You're now at 1 health. Alright. And second Legion Angel, which will get us our third. Awesome. The attacks, I'm more than happy to block with the Archfiends. And just cards to basically prevent his life gain from getting out. To keep myself at 27 at minimum. And just keep him from getting out of hand. Alright, so who are you going to pump? I'm attacking with flyers. You have to pump your life linkers. Yep, double pumps Lurrus. Makes sense. Seems legit. Let's see. I'm not going to block with a 4/3, because while I could kill the Lurrus, he stops my airborne flyers. And it's this flying swarm that gets me my kill. Nope. What the? Ah, that's what happened. Alright. I think that's enough attacks. Yeah, I deal 16 damage through the Daxos. That seems like enough attacks. I just realized I could have actually Pyre of Heroes sacked the Skyclave Cleric for Righteous Valkyrie to have even more board pressure. Oh man, that would have been amazing. But anyways, yeah. So there is that Sacrifice deck was a surprise. That Sacrifice deck was a surprise. I want to play one more. I want to play at least one more. Just this deck's a lot of fun. That's the theme. This deck isn't necessarily the best deck, but it's a whole lot of fun. That Mardu Sacrifice deck I think is actually super good. The thing about this deck is it's a whole lot of fun, and the vast majority of cards are not rotating. The vast majority of cards do not rotate. Alright, let's get that Shine Nano for a Cleric of Life spawned early. I'm gonna go for it. I'm playing that Plains next turn, so I'm okay with revealing it to scare him into thinking we're holding up something. Mono red aggro, darn it. I think we take the damage so that the Clerics of Life spawn can start gaining me life. We save the Dire Tactics for a much more dangerous threat, such as Torbran. When they die, they deal damage equal to its power to any target. Yeah, we're not attacking with the Cleric of the Life spawned. Alright, he frostbites it anyways. Alright. So I could Pyre of Heroes Archfiend's Vessel, or Archfiend's Vessel hold up Dire Tactics. That is actually a play I could do. That means I could sacrifice the Cleric of Life spawned to get Skyclave Apparitions. And this also... Yeah. This also still is something... This is something I'm willing to block a Fireblade Charger with and not really worry. Sorry about that. I had to sneeze. Phoenix of Ash. I could not block... so I could Dire Tactics that for free. Yeah, I think that's actually better for me. Ooh, do I Humiliate or do I Clerics get a 3/3? I like this better. Just slightly better. Get myself some lifelink. Get that theme bigger. I really needed that third land there. I really needed... Or the fourth land there. The fourth land there was pivotal. I did not get it, and it's gonna hurt. Alright, I'm still blocking a Fireblade Charger. I recognize he might have something to make that more devastating, but not much I can do about that. I'm thinking he's gonna Grimrock Knight. Okay, he Berserkers. Alright, so then he's killing the... I get it. He's killing the Archfiend's Vessel in the process. That's smart from his part. For his part. There's my Righteous Valkyrie. Appreciated. Gotta remember, he has Bone Crushers, so I think I have to take this 4 damage. Fervent Champion. Again, he has Bone Crushers. Yep, because he can Rimrock and stuff like that. Chose not to. Interesting. Land, please. Alright, gains me a little life. Let's get the land now. Unfortunate that we had to go this far just for an Environmental Sciences. He only has 1 card left. If it's Embercleave, I'm in trouble. I really just needed to draw that 4th land sooner. 1, 2, 3, 4. You could pump Fiends. I'm just keeping this Righteous Valkyrie around. That's my highest priority right now. If he has Embercleave, I lost already. If he doesn't have Embercleave, I have a way back into this game. Alright. Of course. I just draw it the next turn. Alright, we're going to start by humiliating him. Getting a sense of what's in his hand. That last card. Force him to Bone Crusher my face, or... Yep. Darn it. Okay. So yeah, we just didn't draw that land in time. We did not draw our land in time. That's what happened. Oh well. Aggro decks. Aggro decks. Could have probably blocked more. But, like, as you saw, I would have died with the Righteous. The Righteous Valkyrie would have died. The Righteous Valkyrie was my way in. Yep. I'm not too... I don't feel too bad about that loss, but that was a loss that I was not far from getting my way out of. So the Humiliate felt really bad there. The Humiliate felt really bad there. But Tabarax was no better. Tabarax was no better. Alright. Well, 2 Humiliates does seem right for the general metagame. Keep in mind, if I had that land, I could have easily just Pyre of Heroes for more Righteous Valkyries and got myself out of there way quicker. Because you get 2 Righteous Valkyries against an aggro deck, and if you end the turn at 1 life but not dead with 2 Righteous Valkyries, you're going to win. You're going to win. It's just getting to that position. Alright. I do like this deck. I do like the Humiliates over the Tabarax. I do like the Humiliates over the Tabarax over the Agadeem's Awakening. Alright. Sometimes things don't go well. I could see us removing 1 Malakir Rebirth for other cards. The Malakir is just like... I really am using all my mana most turns. Just remove the Malakir, put another Professor of Symbology. And maybe replace the Mascot Exhibition for a different lesson. What lesson would I put in there? Intro to Prophecy? Another Environmental Sciences? I do not know what lesson I would want in its place. But I do think removing a Malakir Rebirth for another Professor of Symbology might be the play. Let's actually do that right now. Yeah. I'm just, like, looking at these cards. None of these really stand out as something I want to take care of. But yeah. So I guess that's our deck for now, before the set rotates. So just for anyone who doesn't know, this was made just before the Adventures of Dungeons & Dragons was released. So hopefully that was worth it. Now, I know some people like... Oh yeah, save changes. I know some people like seeing the pack openings, so let's pop open the packs real fast. Just for people that want to see it. Another Tabarax. Another Tabarax. Because I figured out 1 was too many. Just a little funny. Just a little funny. And there's a Hofuri. So this card. A lot of people have been wanting to splash red to get Hofuri into their deck. I just find that it costs 1 more than Aura. It asks for the splash, and it doesn't do... And where Aura fails, this card's going to fail even harder. Because if they kill Hofuri... If they kill Aura, you get a Righteous Valkyrie return. If they kill Hofuri, that's it. It's whenever another non-token creature you control dies. So I much prefer Aura over Hofuri. Alright. So that's it. That's the deck. Seems like a fun deck. It's a fun deck that can rank. Is it a good deck? It's not tier 1. It's not tier 1. It's not tier 2. But it's fun, and it can rank up. I'm actually just pull up one last time so that people could see it. So yeah. There it is. A lot of uncommons. A lot of uncommons. Then there's these rares, which if you're not playing this deck, you're probably not going to be playing it. These rares, which you're probably going to be playing. And that's kind of the main issue, that this deck involves a lot of rares. There's the uncommons, then like everything that's not uncommon is rare. So this is a very expensive deck, which is the main issue. Alright, well thank you all for watching. I hope you all have a wonderful day.